We have major Texans updates before we kick off week 1 of preseason against the Vikings today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You got kind of doing a video early in the morning, but an update on CJ Gardner Johnson, some potential candidates to look out for, not only in the preseason game, but who's going to get cut from this team. I know it's only week 1 of preseason. You got multiple weeks to come after that, but some positive news on CJ Gardner Johnson that he actually might be able to play for week 1. But if you guys are new to Texans Digest, 75% of you are not subscribed. If you would, hit that sub button. Appreciate everyone with the support on the videos. It has been awesome. Comment down below, will CJ Gardner Johnson play for week 1? Because I think that's the first thing we should do before we get into potential cut candidates, if I could find the reports here. But there were 2 reports. One that initially said that he tore his ACL, and then there was one that said, okay, well, his ACL isn't torn, it's intact according to the MRI, but it's kind of funny because normally the NFL doesn't get these reports kind of wrong, but I saw multiple reports from like Pro Football Focus on Instagram where it said CJ Gardner Johnson ACL torn in like big bold letters, and then all of a sudden you pull up the first comment and it's like, okay, his ACL's not torn, it's still intact. So it's like, just make sure you have your information correct, because like you're playing with my heart here as a Texans fan, because CJ Gardner Johnson, I thought he was done. It was a lower leg injury. They thought it was Achilles. They thought it was ACL. This is why you don't speculate, because they didn't know specifically what it was. But apparently, his ACL was damaged, but it's not completely torn. It's intact, which means that it's a lot less severe than what it was supposed to be. It was looking like it was likely a torn ACL. He was almost done for the year. And now, further tests reveal he is okay. The ACL is intact. It is okay. And he will still miss some significant amount of time, but there is a chance he could potentially play for week 1. So that's a positive turn of events. You don't have to go out and get Justin Simmons. However, I probably still would for a couple weeks. But CJ Gardner Johnson could play week 1. So a lot of positive news there. And honestly, just let me know your thoughts, because, I mean, hyperventilating over here just because like that was a wild sequence of events over the past 2 days. So Gardner Johnson is okay. As far as the week 1 preseason game against the Vikings, it's kind of clear that the quarterback competition is CJ Stroud and then Davis Mills, and then who's going to get that third spot. Again, you drafted Graham Mertz from Florida a little bit early. I mean, around the 5th round. I mean, that's kind of where you want to take a quarterback. I don't know why the Texans took a quarterback when you have a guy like CJ Stroud. Maybe they thought, okay, sophomore slump, if that continues. I doubt it highly. The Texans did all the right moves. They got rid of Bobby Slowick. They brought in Nick Caley. This is going to be an awesome team to watch. Just wide receivers. I mean, it is actually crazy. I can't wait to watch the preseason game later today. But it's going to be a competition between Mertz and Slovis. I mean, Keaton Slovis, quarterback 3 last year for the Texans. He was on the practice squad for most of the year. It's probably, I don't even know if there's going to be 3 quarterbacks on the roster. No, not many teams have 3. I mean, you probably have a guy on a practice squad, if not 2. But honestly, it really does look pretty clear that Slovis is a candidate that will be cut unless he just absolutely balls out in preseason or in camp. Because if you look at the Texans, just quarterback, obviously Stroud is great. Davis Mills is not a very great starter. Obviously, he's a good caliber backup. I personally like him. He just turns the ball over a decent much. Pocket passer. I mean, Mills is a solid backup. Then you have Mertz, who's still trying to learn the lingo of the NFL, a good player at UF. And then, Texans decided to draft him. Remember, he's recovering from a torn ACL. Maybe they put him in the backfield. I mean, he does run it a decent much. I mean, that could be something that you look forward to, is that he plays like a Taysom Hill. I mean, that would be interesting. But Slovis is most likely going to be cut. As far as the first preseason game, it's definitely important to note who is potentially starting. So DeMeco Ryan said everybody's kind of their own plan. We have a handful of guys who won't see time at all. Then we have certain group of guys who are limited. So it's just a lot of different guys. This probably means that CJ Stroud is not going to play. As much as I'd like to see him in a new offense, I'd rather see him week 3 of preseason. Just the later, the better. But DeMeco Ryans did mention we probably will see the new rookie Ariante Ursary. So that's a good sign, as well as Jalen Noel, who's fighting for first-team reps in the slot position. I mean, I think it's pretty set that they're on Christian Kirk. But again, he's a veteran. you drafted Null for upside. He can definitely fill in at that role. As far as what we're going to look for, this game's at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Again, you're at Minnesota. It's going to be a fun game. I mean, Dameon Pierce is hopefully back from injury. He's going to get some reps. But this is going to be a great game just to see a glimpse of the Texans. I don't really care who it is out there, because regardless, you're going to see a lot of players that are in the mix for roster spots and just competing to see what's really going to happen for this season. Obviously, we're probably not going to see CJ Stroud. They're not planning on starting him, as the Vikings are going to have JJ McCarthy, but we don't care about the Vikings. We're Texans fans. So that's kind of really what they're looking forward to. You have a lot of rookies probably going to be out there. Tay Ursary, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Null, wide receiver. So I think, honestly, the only real notable starter that's not going to be out there is CJ Stroud, and then probably Nico Collins. Outside of that, obviously, probably Will Anderson, a couple of your other younger guys that are star players are probably going to sit out, but it's going to be a lot of fun looking at this season. And honestly, looking at the depth chart for this team, the quarterback 3, I think we kind of made up our minds. It's definitely a slot, but you have to look at running back as well too, because Chubb is a little bit banged up. Mixon's out probably until week 1. Tank Dell's been done, but right now this is the first unofficial depth chart. CJ Stroud, Davis Mills, Graham Mertz, Keaton Slovis, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Dameon Pierce, Dare Ogunbowale. So honestly, the fact that Pierce is above Ogunbowale, even though Pierce has been out for most of training camp with that kind of lower, I think it was a calf injury if I'm not mistaken, but Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins. Jaden Higgins will not be in the slot. He's obviously the number 2. You got your X and then your Y receivers. So looking at it, I'm a big fan of Christian Kirk. I think he's going to do well. Jalen Null, I'm kind of surprised that Berrios isn't a little further up on the depth chart. Just saying. I mean, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it is what it is. Really, realistically, looking at other potential cut candidates, it's probably the 4th string category. Slovis, Cephas, Xavier Johnson. I love Quentin Cephas, but he's, that's just a cut candidate. I mean, that's how it's going to look. And then same thing on defense. I mean, maybe you'll leave a little bit more depth at D tackle, at wide receiver, at running back, because those positions right now for the Texans are a little bit slim, because you look at running back and Joe Mixon's down, Nick Chubb's kind of a little bit washed. You got Woody Marks, you got Ogunbowale, you got Pierce. You need kind of a little bit of a couple players behind them to kind of pick it up, if that makes sense. But the last thing you want to see is, players go down. So that's probably worst case scenario, that the Texans have Pierce starting week 1, which I don't even mind. I love Pierce, but I think he can really prove himself if he does get that opportunity to start at running back. As far as defense, obviously CJ Gardner Johnson, wish him a speedy recovery. It's a lot better than it seems, so that's great news. But we'll probably see a decent amount of players probably see the field on defense. Not necessarily starters, but the second team crew that are probably going to rotate in at the defensive line. It's going to be a lot of moving parts. And I might even potentially stream this game if we can get a couple parts laid down. So let me know if you want to see that later today. I know it's probably an earlier video on a Saturday morning. I don't know how many people are going to see it, but hopefully it's a happy Saturday, happy Texans football for everyone. And I cannot wait for this season. But as far as the third team offense or defense, if anybody cares for the preseason, Keaton Slovis, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. CJ Gardner Johnson is updated healthily. But realistically, I want to see Damon Arnett out there. I want to see, the back half of the depth chart that we don't necessarily see fight for roster spots and play good competitive football, because the Vikings are probably going to put up a lot of points. Again, it doesn't matter. It's a preseason game. You're probably just looking for talent. We don't care if we win or lose. But I will say that the Vikings are probably going to stomp on us, just because McCarthy's probably going to play at least the first quarter, because he should. I mean, we haven't seen him yet. And again, I'm talking about the Texans, so I don't know why I'm going on about the game in general. But this is just kind of a recap, kind of an update video, kind of all of the above. Hey, preseason today as well. CJ Gardner Johnson looks to be okay, so a lot of good news there. Positive turn events. hopefully they can turn things around. But thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Mike Zanetti on Texans Digest. If you would hit that sub button one more time for me, appreciate all the love and support on the videos. And let me know your comments, not only on the preseason, but thoughts on how the season's going to go. CJ Gardner Johnson, will he play week 1? That's kind of the big question right now. He'll probably be out for the first 2 to 4 weeks because you want to be cautious with that kind of injury. And Jimmy Ward also has off-the-field issues I haven't mentioned, but if I'm not mistaken, he's back. We're just gonna say off the field issues. I'm not gonna go deep into that nonsense. But thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a little bit of a ramble, but appreciate you guys as always. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.